You are in the middle of a regular city. You are over of enemy. The zombies are closing in, and your health is at half. Your heart pounding. The controller is shaking in your hand. This is at exactly the moment where the difference between living and becoming lunch comes down to your pocket, or more accurately, your ability to know what to do with three little plants you picked up off the floor of a diamond. Lit away sounds too simple to be true, but isn't it? The herbs in Resident Evil are one of the most underrated and the most genius systems in the history of survival games. While most players treat these plants like basic floor healing, the true masters all of the franchise know that master is the herb system is the difference between finishing the game comfortably or dying in the same room over and over, frustrated, with no idea what they're doing wrong. And once you truly understand how they work, where they came from, what each one is for, the right combos at the right moments, you will never waste the wrong combination at the wrong time again. You will never throw away a red herb, think it's useless again. You will never walk past a yellow herb. Guide you needed from the very beginning. Pay attention. Your vital life depends on it. To understand the herbs, you have to go back to 1996. Capcom was building something that had never been attempted with this level of depth before. A survival horror game that needed to balance constant tension with resource management mechanics. It wasn't enough to just scare the player. They needed to feel like every decision mattered, that every hit they carried was a life or death choice. The problem was created a healing system that actually made sense with the game's world. Power-ups floating mid-air. Off the table, it would completely shatter the immersion Capcom was trying to build. Unlimited medkits that would trivialize the danger. The solution needs to be organic, immersive, and strategic all at once. The answer came from plants. The idea drew inspiration from real-world herbal medicine, where different plants carry distinct properties that combined produce effects more powerful than any other plants alone. With the friction of Resident Evil, these plants grow naturally throughout the series' environments. All the mansions, abandoned lands, European villages, medieval castles carrying magical properties the survivors learned to use in the hit crisis. The system was an instant hit. Players in 1996 loved the quiet depth brought to the game. It wasn't just find the healing item and use it, it was find the right plants, combine them interactively, and manage your resources like a real survivor. Instead of pausing the horror for a shop menu or obviously power up the game, had you on your knees picking flowers like your life literally depends on it. The system was such a hit that it became a trademark of the entire franchise, from the original Resident Evil through Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 7, Village and beyond. Herbs have followed players through decades of jump scares, plot twists, and impossible bosses. Every game tweaks the system slightly, sometimes changing which herbs appear, sometimes altering the possible combinations, but the core idea never changed. Nature is your ally. Every character in the Green Little story. If there are one herb that represents the entire franchise, it's green. It's the most common, the most versatile, and in a lot of ways the most important part of the whole system. You will find it particularly every environment, in every game, growing in pots, in abandoned gardens, in castles hallways, in underground labs. Nature, apparently, doesn't care much about zombie apocalypse. It's on. The green herb restores a portion of your health. It's not a full heal, it's not revolutionary, but in a tiny spot, it can be the difference between surviving or more hits and hitting the floor. For light to moderate damage, green its own gets the job done effectively. But the real power of the green herb is that it's the true connective tissue for every other combination. It's the ingredient that activates the links that amplifies. Without green, no other combos works. Red alone does nothing. Blue alone cures poison, but not damage. Yellow alone gives you nothing. Everything involves around green, and that's exactly why it's the backbone of every survival strategy in the franchise. Think of it as a rice in the beans of your survival diet, essential, everyone, everywhere, that capable. Creative. The red herb is, without a doubt, the most misunderstood item in the franchise. You will run into a place who toss it because it doesn't understand to do nothing. Others who hold on to you without really knowing why. And then there are the veterans who treat every red herb they find like gold, because to them it's exactly what it is. On its own, the red herb generously does nothing. Zero. You can use it by itself to heal damage, cure a status effect, or do nothing at all. It exists for one single powerful purpose: to amplify the effect of the green herb to level a other combination reaches with that kind of resolve efficiency. When green and red met, the result is the immediate and devastating for any zombie that through it had you corner it full heal to the bottom, the exactly equivalent of a full healing spray, 0 to max, instantly, with just 2 items that wouldn't take up 2 inventory slots. That space saved, result saved, and the maximum healing all in a single combo. Any so the half of free spray. The blue herb doesn't have green dominance presence of the half power of the green red combo, but there is one type of situation in Resident Evil where it's completely replaced when you are poisoned. Poison on Resident Evil doesn't kill you instantly, it kills you slowly, draining your health in small doses when you are desperately trying to find the next item or finish the next object. It's a form of physiological pressure, just as effective as the enemies themselves, and the only answer to it is the blue herb on its own. It removes poison completely, not full health restored, but it eliminates the ongoing threat that was chipping away at you. Combined with green, it kills the poison, it restores a portion of your health, handling both the imagery titles and accumulated damage. When it's joined the triple combo with green and red, you are rolling the ultimate survival kit, a full health, and the poison removal in one glorious item. The blue herb is understated but indispensable. Ignore it, you are not poison it, but never throw it away. The moment you need it, always show it up the worst possible time. Indeed. Drop a like to support the channel. I need your help. This is where the tutorial gets generally interesting. This is the secret that separates casual players from franchise scholars. The yellow herb, it's rare, it's mysteriously, it showed up in one entry in the series, and the way it does, a lot of players stare at in confusion, combine its wrong array, or the biggest sin of all, ignore it completely. Classic Resident Evil 4 is one of the play and games where it has a major presence, and once you understand actually does that, it changes how you see your entire run. The yellow herb doesn't heal directly damage, it doesn't cure poison, it doesn't do any of these things you expect from Resident Evil herb. What it does is infinitely more valuable in terms of long-term strategy. It permanently increases your maximal health cap. This isn't a temporary buff that wears off. It isn't a heal that refills what you lost. It's a real concrete, permanent upgrade to your survival capacity. Once you see you use a combo containing the yellow herb, sending on your health bar goes up, and it stays that away from the rest of the game. Classic Resident Evil 4 that carries serious weight. That game already starts you off with Leo at a number of disadvantages, surrounded by hostile Ganados, a rural setting without the familiar resolve of Umbrella or Stars. Every advantage counts, every upgrade matters, and the yellow herb is an upgrade most players just walk right past. Combining with the green herb, it deals a small amount of health and spends your max. Combined with green and red, the strong combinations involve the yellow herb, you get a full heal and comes out of the fight with more max health than you had going on. You literally emerge from battle stronger than you started. Think about what that means of the curse of classic Resident Evil 4 playthrough. In the late game, where enemies hit harder and the mistakes cost more, a bigger health bar isn't a luxury, it's a statutory necessity. Every yellow herb wasted early on a slice of survival you won't have when you needed it most. Players who ignore the yellow herb are literally throwing away permanent characters upgrades. It's like finding a rare treasure item and using it to open a regular door. The race is real. When the margin for error shrinks and every point of health counts. Now that you know each herb individually, it's time to talk about what really matters, the combinations. And before anything else, there is a gold rule you need to look and lock into your memory and never forget. 3 green herbs combined equal 1 full healing spray. 1 green and 1 red herb together also equal 1 full spray. That changes everything. It means the most powerful healing item in the game. It's not necessarily the spray you found in a locker drawer. It's the combo you can make with the plant that grow particularly everywhere. It means saving you your spray for true emergencies. Isn't paranoia, it's strategy. With that in mind, here's the guide. Green plus red is the go-to combo for pure emergency. 2 items, 1 inventory slot. Full health, fast, efficient, and powerful. If you find a red herb, hang on to it. It's just waiting for the right green to save your life. Green plus green is the budget option for moderate damage. It's real more than a single green, but doesn't top you off completely. Perfect for those situations where you take a solid damage but you are not critical. It solves the problem without dipping into your precious stash of reds or sprays. Just know it will fill your health bar 100%. Green plus green plus green is a full heal made from the most abundant ingredient in the game. 3 green herbs together fill your health bar completely, and since your green show up so often, it's nearly every environment. This combo is more sustainable long-term than relying on red or sprays. It's the patience survival strategy. Harvest wherever you can. Combine it once you got free. Never runs out of full health option. Green plus blue is the precision fix for poison combined with the damage. It cures the poison, restores some health, and keeps you functioning enough to keep moving. Simple, efficient, and often underrated by players who don't respect status effect. It removes the poison and heals a big chunk of damage for situations where you got poisoned and took a real bit before you could treat it. This combo handles both problems harder than the basic green and blue. Green plus red plus blue is the ultimate kit, the most powerful combination available in the most of the franchise titles. A full heal and complete poison removal in a single item. This is the one you have saved for everything's gone wrong at once. You are poisoned in the red on earth and the enemies aren't letting up. 1 item, 2 problem solves. Full health. The green, red, blue miracle. Green plus yellow is the upgrade with a heal. You get a partial health and heal. More importantly, a permanent increase to your max health cap. Every time you use this combo, use or whatever you are playing, comes out tougher than he went in. Green plus red plus yellow is the single strongest move available whenever the yellow herb is on the table. A full heal and permanent increase health in your combination. If you got at all 3 of these in your hand at the same time, there is no reason on earth not to combine them immediately. It's the strongest upgrade, the perfect item. The moment the game rewards you for paying attention to every plant you picked up since the start. More experienced players also use this combo to sell, since it doesn't stack extra max health for them beyond a certain point. That's what I did call a fair trade. The best combo turned into extra crash for other items. Knowing the combinations is only a half the battle. The other half is knowing one fundamental truth about Resident Evil. Your inventory is always limited and every slot is a strategic decision. Always carry herbs already combined, never separated. Every individual herbs takes up its own inventory slot, a combo of 2 or 3. If you are carries 3 separated green herbs instead of trap a combo, you are wasting 2 slots that could be holding ammo, keys, or other essential items. The only exception is when you are collecting different herbs types and don't have the combo you want yet. In that case, it makes sense to hold them separately. But the moment you've got the right ingredients combined, then right away. As for timing, the most costly mistake a player can make is panic use a healing spray at 50 100% health. Sprays are fixed resource. There is a limited number of scattered across the map, and once you got gone, they are gone. Herbs growing just about everywhere. You use herbs for everyday survival. Save your sprays for the moments where you're not about to die in the next 3 seconds and don't have time to calmly dig through your inventory. Same logic applies to your green herb combo. Don't burn it on 30 damage taken. Save it for when you are critical. Use a plain green or green for smaller hits. Matching right resource to the right situation is what defines an experienced survival. There are mistakes every beginner makes, and knowing them matters just as much as knowing the right combos. The first and most it happens more than it should. A player since can't be used alone and doubles to free up space. In that moment, they just threw away a full healing spray. If you are reading this, never make that mistake again. The second, ignoring the blue herb because you are not poisoned right now. Poison in Resident Evil never gives away up and res up. The zombie dog longs at it. The giant spider spits up you. Special enemies can poison you, like a snake, instantly. You do not poison it. Mid-fight with no blue herb on hand. Carry at least one combo with blue if you are heading up into your risk area. The third is specific to Resident Evil 4 players. Underestimated the yellow herb because you don't understand what it does. So many players ignore it. Never ignore it again. Always pair it with green or with green head to get most of the permanent upgrade. The fourth, understanding herbs for the right moment, to the point you will never use them and reach the end of the game with an inventory full of unused combos, while you keep it. Dying in the mid-game from lack of healing and overloaded resource is a waste resource. The game is generous enough with green herbs that you can use your combos when you need them without fear of running dry. The green herbs and the herbs in Resident Evil aren't just a healing system. They never were. They are silent test of strategy, and the game is runs on your from minute 1 with no explicit tutorial, no running, and no immediate punishment for ignorance. There are Resident Evil quite repeated way for asking overdose of hours of gameplay. Are you paying attention? Do you actually know the real value of what you are carrying? Are you going to spend the resource now or save it for when you truly need it? Do you know what each plant can become in the right hands? The players who master their herbs aren't the fastest, aren't the ones who throw out the most jump scares, and aren't necessarily the best shots. They are the ones who reach the end of the game with items to spare, full health in the toughest fights, and untouched sprays in the bags, with everyone else burned through theirs in the first half of the map. They are the real survivors. Since 1996, the herbs of Resident Evil have taught generations of players that surviving on apocalypse isn't about brute force, it's about knowledge, preparation, and mass resource management. The nature, even in a world overrun by viruses and impossible creatures, still hands you tools if you know where to look. And now you know where to look. You know that every plant does, alone and combined. You know 3 green herbs make a spray, that green plus red makes a spray, that yellow makes you permanently strong, and the blue is the only answer to the poison slowly eating away at you. Next time you're exploring the expansive mansion, the streets of Raccoon City, the European village from Resident Evil 4, or whatever darker setting Capcom decides to throw at you next time, you will spot the fat green girl sitting quietly in a darker corner of the room. You will know exactly you are not looking at. It's not a plant, it's a second chance. Use it wisely. Now, I want to hear you from: did you already every herb combo in Resident Evil? Which Resident Evil game do you think has the harshest resource scarcity? Drop it in the comments below. And don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel.